let's take a look at our top selections for the... Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. We kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 on Preakness Saturday with race number 6, the Grade 2 Dinner Party Stakes. Before we get to the analysis, head on over to drf.com/Preakness for your Preakness Day betting strategy guide. Grade 1 Preakness, Grade 2 Black-Eyed Susan, a stellar card, full card selections, wager recommendations, and more. drf.com/Preakness. Here's the field for the Grade 2 Dinner Party Stakes. This race used to be known as the Dixie. We're going 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. We have a deserving big favorite in this race. The number 7, Factor This, has had a remarkable year for Brad Cox. Gets some class relief after running in the Turf Classic on Kentucky Derby Day and could easily be the lone speed.
Yeah, we'll see how the pace plays out. I didn't think he had to be the lone speed in this race, but certainly he's going to be forward in here. And you're right, he's coming into this race on a real roll. His Turf Classic last time was actually an excellent performance.
Let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector, because I think you do make a good point. In some ways, the key to this race is how the connections are going to ride the 2 Some Like It Hot Brown. This is a horse who went gate to wire in the Bernard Baruch 2 starts back. He was able to control a moderate pace that day, and they just went too fast for him last time out in the Turf Classic, and he just didn't like being rated. Maybe Paco Lopez, who's aggressive, will go with Some Like It Hot Brown, try to take this race to the favorite, and maybe it sets things up for a closer.
Yeah, if nothing else, I don't think they'll make the mistake that they made last time. And when you go back and watch the beginning, especially of that Turf Classic, they took a hold of this horse. They did not try to make the lead. They made a concerted effort to take him off the pace, and he did not respond to it very well at all. He just didn't run. Prior to that, his prior 2 starts, they went to the front. He ran triple-digit buyers both times. I think they're sending him in this spot.
The number 1 True Valor sold for almost $250,000 at public auction in July, was transferred to Graham Motion, and boy, Graham put him in a tough spot in that Turf Classic first start off of the layoff, and True Valor was very fresh, I thought, in that race. He pushed that fast pace, and that's not really True Valor's game. I think he's going to sit back this time and hope somebody else does the dirty work.
Yeah, that's what I think too. It was very odd to see him in that position last time. And not only was he pushing what turned out to be a very solid pace with Factor This on the lead, but it was going 1 mile and an 1/8 then. And I don't think this horse wants to go that far either. I think he's a lot better going shorter. I think they will take him back early in this race, save some ground. And if he shows up and runs one of his good races, he can factor in this spot at a price.
Multiple graded stakes winner. And again, if Some Like It Hot Brown goes after Factor This, he has a chance at a nice price. You're absolutely right. As for Some Like It Hot Brown, he got his win on the turf. He's already a graded stakes winner on synthetic. He got the win in the Bernard Baruch when they just let him walk on the lead. And in the Turf Classic, they tried to rate him. They maybe gave Factor This a little bit too much respect. Some Like It Hot Brown didn't like it. I guess they're going to go. I'm just not sure a prolonged duel with Factor This is going to work to this horse's favor.
It certainly wouldn't. I just don't think they're going to change his running style again, because he ran so poorly last time when they tried to rate him. His Baruch, yes, he took advantage a little bit when Holiday, the Pletros Red Speed, decided to rate and let him go. So he did take advantage. But you know what? He ran well anyway. And prior to that, he went a good pace in the Fort Marcy. They sent him that day. He did not walk on the lead, and he ran a good third to some good horses that day. So I just think they're going to send him, Dan, and he clearly has the talent to be a big player in a race like this if he runs his best race.
Oh, Hembry, you just never win. You've got the numbers on the page to indicate you can win a race like this. You've taken on some good competition. Let's watch his last race, the Tappet at Kentucky Downs, and Hembry runs a Hembry-esque race. He's in those green and yellow blinkers on the outside. He got bumped a little bit at the start. I thought all in all the trip was fine. He's going to split horses, and he's going to come with a decent little run in between to finish third. He earned another competitive buyer speed figure of 97, and if Some Like It Hot Brown goes after Factor This, he's one of the stronger closers in this race. Can you trust him?
I can't, if only because I just don't like his races this year as much as I liked his races last year, Dan. Certainly he has it in him to be effective here. And if there is a big pace in front of him, I suppose it gives him his best chance. I just don't really like his recent form.
O Dionysus, the number 4, has put together a really nice career in the Mid-Atlantic area. He's had 2 starts now for the New Connections, one off a lengthy layoff in a real tough spot. They ran him, 11 furlongs in the UN off of a long layoff, and He actually was up close to the pace before tiring. In the Henry Clark last time out, he got wired by Dr. Mounty. I think he has excuses for those races. The question is he good enough to handle a horse like Factor This?
Right. I didn't think he was. Not that this is, the toughest. I was going to say the toughest Dixie in the world, but whatever this race is called now, it's not the toughest one in the world. And I will give him the excuses that you gave him for the last two. I just didn't think he was good enough.
It's the dinner party, and my good friends at the Maryland Jockey Club, they're not going to invite you to any dinner parties now that you got that name wrong. The 5 is Irish Straight, third start of the form cycle for Irish Straight, and Irish Straight's another very likable horse who might be racing himself into form for Graham Motion. And this horse has a little bit of speed too, Mike. I think he could get the Garden Trip in behind the 2 pace horses.
Yeah, that is true. He is a horse who has a good amount of speed. Generally, I feel like he likes to be on the lead. I don't know if he can get there in this spot. And I still don't, I don't think he's probably up to his very best anymore as an 8-year-old now, following a very long layoff. But there is a chance that he comes out of there running as well.
And he was facing a kind of under-the-radar turf horse right now. Analyze It came off a long, long layoff for Chad and got it done in the Red Bank. We might be hearing from him later this year. And he did finish ahead of a nice little dirt horse who came back to win with a 103 buyer and then was third in the Vosburg last week with a 91. I wouldn't completely count out Irish Straight. I did count out Dr. Mounty and was kind of stunned to see him in the entries in the Henry Clark at Laurel on September the 7th. And Forrest Boyce rode him beautifully. Let's watch this race right now. No pace whatsoever. Dr. Mounty, who really isn't a speed horse, is able to go 50-2 while clear. Forrest has got to be laughing right now. And Dr. Mounty sprints home for Shug. And Shug and Forrest Boyce are a very potent combination in Maryland.
Yeah, it's interesting that he was able to just go to the front and wire that, because you're right, that's not his typical running style. And you only have to go back to the beginning of last year, Dan, in that grade 3 down at Gulfstream Park. They took him back. He got a little pace in front of him, and he came with the best finish to become a grade 3 winner. Even that kind of a race, which is probably the best he can do, seems unlikely to get him to win this race, but he could certainly get a piece of it.
Factor This came into the Turf Classic on the heels of 4 stakes wins, 3 of the graded variety, 2 with triple-digit buyers, and he ran a whale of a race, a very, very fast and contested pace. He put all the pace horses away, and it took who else? Chad Brown to run him down with Digital Age in the stretch. Factor This, if he is able to get to the lead, heck, if he's able to sit off of some like it Hot Brown, is likely going to be in major contention turning for home, and he's simply the horse to beat.
Yeah, he is the horse to beat in here. He's just in really good form. He ran a very good race last time. I do sort of feel like, I don't think it really shows on his PPs, but I think this is the kind of horse, especially drawn on the outside, that he could sit, I guess, if he had to, and still run his race. But he's going to be forward. He ran an excellent race last time to just miss holding on. He's way the horse to beat. I just wanted to take a little shot against him.
As do I, as we take a look at our top selections. Again, Factor This, the horse to beat, a horse you got to use probably in multiple race wagers with a lot of weight. Oh, Hembry, maybe today's the day where you get a little bit of pace. I have to admit, I was sort of torn between Hembry and your horse, True Valor. And now that I look at the morning line odds, I think you might have landed on the right one.
We'll see. True Valor is going to have to run his very best race. And I do sort of feel like it's been a while since he's run his very best race, Dan. But I think he can do. I was encouraged by his effort last time, just because he just got the wrong ride, going a distance that I don't think he wants to go. And it's not like, when you watch that race back, it's not like he totally fell apart in the stretch. I mean, he just barely got out finished for like 4th and 5th in there. He did not run poorly at all, considering that trip he got.
Factor This, likely going to be odds on, the horse to beat. Mike and I take small stabs against. Mike goes 1-7-3-2. I go 3-7-1-2 in the grade 2 dinner party stakes. Race number 6 at Pimlico on Preakness Saturday. Good luck.